Hello, Leo. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read, so of course everything may not resonate. Take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel at Ralphie3 Tarot. She's read for you as well. Thank you. All right, so let's see what's going on. Quick. Very quick. Someone just turned on the bass in their car. Gangsta. Let's see what we're going on here today, Leo. Let's see. Speaking of music, I think I'm losing my mind this time. I think I'm losing my mind. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. If you don't lose your mind at least once in your life, are you really living? Interesting. You're kind of showing me something similar to... Yeah, interesting. You're showing me something a little similar to Sagittarius. Considering and speaking, their Sagittarius is. Okay. All right. A couple more and I'll jump into this. You get the message of you get another hand as soon as you fold. What does that mean? There's the devil. Oh boy, Leo. What are you doing? You're like, oh my gosh. You're like, fold? Why would I fold? Okay, so you're a bit of a risk player. Ooh, one more and I'll jump in. What is that? Okay. Leo, why over there but not over here? Bit selective, but we'll see how this unfolds. That's a nice energy. Where's it going? Damn. Energetically speaking, have you seen the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou on YouTube? It's a good movie. It's a funny movie. There's a scene in it. Spoiler alert. There's a scene in it where, what is his name? Everett. I think it's Everett. When Everett comes across and cross paths with Dan or Big Dan. Big Dan, he's a Bible salesman, and he walks around and he's like, fast forward, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Let's see if I can recall it. I'm still waking up. Yeah, Big Dan decides he's gonna steal Everett's money. But the way I forget how Everett actually got the money. I think if that was when he came across or ran into Babyface, but Babyface was going around robbing banks. But Big Dan, he's a Bible salesman, and he's talking about the Word of God. And he makes a smart ass statement. He's like, Jesus saves and Big Dan withdraws, and it means like making a money joke. Um, Unfortunately, what I'm looking at here, Leo, is I don't know why I'm kind of picturing like a vault of money, you know, like one of those like safety deposits, like you got the code or the number. And it's interesting because it makes me think back to the movie Pulp Fiction, where the briefcase of gold, right, at the diner, you know, be cool, honey bunny, because they're robbing the wrong person. I'm looking at you, Leo, looking at, interestingly enough, the gold, money, finances, savings. You know, people save things in their vault. They save things in their, you know, security box. Their, well, vault. It is what it is. Their savings. Unfortunately, what you're showing me is, things aren't looking the way it used to. Different movie reference today, Leo. Different movie reference. What you're saying is like poker wise, for example, you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of counting your chips. You're kind of like doing this, how they sit there and they count and they'll fidget with their poker chips. You're counting. I'm not saying you're playing games or strategizing, Leo. I'm just using that as an example. You're counting your chips. You're counting your gold coins. You're counting what's left in your vault. Um, and it's like, fuck, you look at what you've done, what you've spent, energy in, energy out. You know, you're taking inventory of yourself and everything you got going on and where things are going. You're just like, you're yanking out your hair and you're, you know, like I think I said it for Aries. It's like you're scratching the skin off your face and you're just like, oh my gosh, where's this going? Fuck, and you just kind of see something just dwindling or kind of just getting bare bones and shit. Um, and you're trying to make the best of it and you're trying to smile through it and not allow it to get to you and affect you. And you're just like, it is what it is. Fucking bills, am I right? Bills. You're energetically showing me bills. It's like, oh my gosh. This is like you're just hanging your head looking at your, you know, your book, your records, what's that called, bookkeeping, your records, your budget, your finances, and you're just like, this fucking sucks. Like, let me go out and buy some cigarettes because I can't even fucking eat tonight. Or a soda or some shit. It's like, you know what? I had something. Interesting. I believe the scene from Pulp Fiction when the briefcase of gold that the robbers and the thieves couldn't take, the code was actually 666. Don't steal from the devil. I mean, this one, don't steal from the devil. The devil makes deals. But if you try to rob the devil, there you are, Leo. Seems I got your attention. Shouldn't play with that devil energy to begin with. Um, what is that? Interesting. This is actually kind of. Well, I'm not getting a sense like this lines up a little bit with, I believe, yesterday's Aquarius reading. Very similar. Um, Interesting. Was that movie Smokey and the Bandit? Smokey and the Bandit. not saying that to you. I don't know why that's flashing through my mind. Um, what is that? I don't know what that is, but this energy right here, Leo, is why you shouldn't play with the devil. He fucking stole my soul. Just kidding. Just making fun of it. It's a crazy picture. His mouth is just like warped, like. Nah. You stole from the devil steals your soul. Business. Crazy. Devil went down to Georgia. Isn't that the song? Yeah, devil went down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal. I'm a fiddle player too. There's a song, but if you lose, the devil takes your soul. Right? I don't know what that is. You thought you had a way, Leo, to postpone or prevent something, or kind of like accumulate or build it back up. I mean, it is so very clear and direct. You thought you had a fast shortcut way, like I said. Did you try to strike a deal here? Unfortunately, with that devil energy, did you make a deal with the devil, Leo? Did you make a deal with the devil? Because energetically speaking, you played a game with the devil, and now you're unfortunately paying the price for it. And it's like, and now it almost seems and it feels like, oh, you are in the hole. Yeah. Like I said, you're in the hole. Go figure. Makes me think of the words soul, hole, shit out of luck. Yeah, that is like, and now now it's almost kind of like it's so bad, and so it's like unfortunately you're things are worse off than they were before. Things are worse off than they were before. Shouldn't play games with the devil. Don't play games with the devil, Leo. Bad call, bad move. Bad call, bad move. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. That's funny. Hey, what are you doing? You trying to eat that gold coin? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Makes me think of that South Park episode where Eric Cartman, they go into the cave and there's like a bunch of pirate treasure or pirate gold, and Eric Cartman thinks like, how am I going to get this out without anybody seeing? He starts eating like the gold coins or the treasure, and he becomes so fat that he can't even move. And he's like, oh my gosh. Um, hmm. Yeah, there's the world, Leo. You understand and know that. You're like, I gotta live with my choices. It is what it is. You gotta live with your choices. You make a bad deal, that's how it is. You make a bad deal, you gotta live with your choices. Ultimately, you get to that point of like, you know what? Um, maybe, geez, maybe it's not about quantity. Maybe it's more specifically about quality, Leo. Kind of like lighting, for example. I like that one because it is true. Everyone's stuck inside all fucking day long. Me myself, I do like a very clear day with the sun. I do like absorbing sunlight, but these lights just ain't shit. So it's like, would I rather have natural lighting from the sun? Yes. Over artificial lighting, even though it is real lighting. Over that, yeah. Um, it's about quality, Leo. It's about quality. Sometimes quality is like, well, I have a $10,000 lamp. Compared to the natural organic sun, Leo, that ain't shit. It's about quality, not quantity. I have a studio of 100 lights in here. Who gives a fuck? Go outside. That's some real shit. Look at, I have a little I don't know, like what are those? I mean, they're cool, the little trinkets of the, the waterfalls and the stones inside my house. That's fucking cool. But have you seen those backyard builders on television shows or series, the stonemasons, where I mean they spend, I mean, buku money, but the works of art and their craft that they come up with for people's backyards, damn. I mean, can you imagine going out to your backyard and having a swimming pool and having like a fucking ton boulder with like some custom waterfall over it? That's some real shit. Cool shows, cool television shows. We'll curious a little bit more. Life is what you make it, Leo. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. Sometimes, um, humble beginnings. That's what this feels like. Heading back, geez, I gotta say it. Is it back to humble beginnings, or is it like, damn, having to, unfortunately, you made a bad deal. You thought, life in the fast lane was going to take you someplace. I don't know. But this feels like back to humble beginnings. But it's not a beginning. That's the thing. This is an energy, Leo, about just humble yourself. Humble yourself. One day you might feel like, you rule the world. The next day, the world is stomping on you. How fast, that wheel can turn. It goes up, it goes down, it goes around. That's how fast life happens. Um, Sometimes, well, let's see, how am I going to word this? I've used this example before. Sometimes the whole world can be in your hands, or just kind of, the whole world can be in your hands somehow. I go back to that imagery of the lion with the world, the globe, the statue, the lion with the globe in its paw. It has the whole world. It's kind of like energetically speaking and symbolically, the lion is like, this is mine. Some people see the world literally as like power, value, and other people see the relationships and their connections as value. And so sometimes it's like where you place value in life matters. What you see value in matters. Damn, it's like if, when you think of the example of humble beginnings, I mean, if you're just starting out someplace small, it's like, you know what? I didn't have shit except like a little camera. I had no lighting, no professional, whatever. So I went outside in the natural lighting and it's like, fuck it, who gives a shit? Because what they had to say, their message, that type of value and that quality doesn't compare to if you're like, I don't know, in a movie studio or some shit where it's like everything is fucking perfect. You mean everything is artificial? That's a different topic for a different day. Value. value. A little more. Sometimes, yeah, I get it, Leo. Money can't, what the typical saying is like money can't buy happiness. But then some people are a little bit more smart ass kind of like remarks, quick witted with it. And they say, like, yeah, but it sure fucking helps. True. True. But have you ever seen, let's just say, a couple or relationship who were struggling and had nothing, but yet they're the happiest in the world because they had each other by each other's side? But then sometimes you see people who are rich and famous, for example. And I believe I said that song for Sagittarius or Aquarius, go fucking figure, the other day. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. They're always fucking complaining. Money, that's your problem. Good song. Life is what you make out of it, Leo. Some people, interestingly enough, here we go, perfect example, and coincidence with timing or not, Leo. Some people, it's actually kind of thinking about this. There was a video game called Hydro Thunder on the game system N64. Hydro Thunder, it's about a bunch of, NHRA speed racing boats. Some people sit there in front of the television playing video games about being outside in the sun, hauling ass like 300 miles an hour over water, and other people actually are blessed and capable of having a flat bottom boat with who knows how much fucking horsepower in real life. They could just go down to the lake or go to some open water and just haul fucking ass in real life. And it's like, the difference is in value. On the video game, yeah, you can go 300 miles an hour and not have to risk or worry about your life. But it's not real as compared to if you actually have a flat bottom boat with that kind of power and you're hauling ass and you're just, and you don't know if you get one gust of wind and before you know it, look, I'm a bird. You risk your life and you put your life on the line for that experience, that feeling, that sensation of feeling alive. It's what you put your value in. On the video game, you might get a little adrenaline, like, oh yes, I'm gonna fucking win the race. I'm gonna be the first place. I'm gonna be number one. I'm gonna win the trophy. It's kind of like, okay, that's cool. As compared to just hauling ass on water, and you're just like, fuck, I feel alive. There's a tower. The sun gives off the energy of life. The sun gives the energy of life. It is alive. You're still fighting it, Leo. You're still fighting it. There's the Eight of Cups. You're fighting it for a little bit. It's a yearning. You're yearning to feel alive, Leo. There you are again. Look at this. There you are again. The sun wanting to pop out. Go outside, Leo. Go outside. Go outside. Get some sun. Dip your feet in the water. There's that song again. I can't recall who it's by. There's that song again. Who's it by? It's come up for your readings in your sign before. Who's it by? The lyrics are, unless you prefer the dark, then go outside at night and look up at the stars, because those are suns too. All of the stars, look how they shine. I think it's upon the song I keep hearing is by the artist or musician, Upon a Burning Body. The lyrics are the stars that light up the sky. Like there's something like there's still strength in me. I forget, it's a good song, but I can't recall exactly what it is. In other words, even the stars. Yeah, look at this. The sun comes out anyways. Look at this. In other words, there's a reason why the stars shine. There's a reason why the sun does what the sun does. Yeah, Lincoln Park. The sun doesn't give to the moon, assuming it's going to owe it one. That is to, jeez Louise, that is unconditional. Unconditional, not conditional. Unconditional. So it's unconditional versus conditional. A little more. Yeah. Um, what is that song? What is that song? I want to know I'm trying to think of the title of the song. I know it's Upon a Burning Body, but I can't think of the song title. What is that other song? The song or the musician or artist, I See Stars. I believe it's called Can We Start Again? Can We Start Again? I think. I could be wrong. I'll have to look up these songs. Good music though. Um, yeah, but that's a lesson, Leo. That's a pretty big lesson. It's a pretty big lesson. Like I said, it's where you place your value. It's what you see value in as well. It goes hand in hand. To some people, a briefcase full of gold don't mean shit, and I'll say it all the time. Even fucking gold burns. Even gold burns and melts. You throw a gold bar at the sun, what do you think it's gonna do? It don't mean shit. That's nice. That's nice. That was a cute little tickle. Um, Not even that. Just like, huh? A little twitch. Um, what's been going on, Leo? By the way, thank you for sharing today. That is a deep energy. That is a deep energy. Sometimes when this type of when it comes down to value conditional and conditions, usually that stems from a upbringing or lifestyle of give and take, but more specifically, it's it comes from the mindset and perspective of like, oh, I had to earn everything, so therefore you kind of view everything in life as conditional. Whereas if you weren't around relationships or connections where it's just kind of like they just freely gave, like the energy of the sun, they just gave it just to give it. Whether it's love, whether it's appreciation, whether it's acknowledgement, whether they literally viewed, because this is where it happens with habits and taking on energy from situations, environments, and circumstances. When it comes to that, it usually stems from ourselves, with it, which is, well, if we have problems and issues seeing certain values in things or people, usually that means we're emitting that same energy that we were lacking beforehand. Like I see things the way I see things because of my upbringing. That's why it's like money might mean more than relationships, or vice versa. Vice versa is, I feel like the lesson you're learning is relationships and connections mean more than money. Sometimes, like I said, money can't buy everything. Money cannot buy everything. No amount of money in the world is going to bring someone back from the dead. No amount of money. No amount of money. Why do you think so many people? Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Another topic for another day. It's a circle of life, ain't it, Leo? It's a circle of life. Money comes, money goes. It's energy. Energy is never lost nor destroyed. It just changes. Ain't that funny? Money even changes. We can all use a little change. Dun, 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 dun. Hey now. Makes me think of the movie Into the Wild. Life was more exciting when they were penniless. Alexander's Supertramp. Such a good movie. Um, yeah, I think he gets in the, spoiler alert, at the end of that, he's like, happiness is only real when shared. Out there wandering the world looking for himself. What matters the most to you, Leo? What is something that money cannot buy? Find out what that is. Find out what that is. And if money cannot buy it, how to obtain it? We'll see. Bye.